What a wonderful day in the UEFA Champions League, especially for both Manchester City and Inter Milan. Now, I wasn't able to watch the Benfica Inter Milan game, so I'll quickly say my thoughts on that. But the video will mainly be City and Bayern because obviously that was the game I'm going to watch. And I'm glad I did because it was such a great game. But no, Inter Milan, Benfica. Benfica has proven this year in the Champions League, not even just this year, but last year, they've been proven themselves as a tough opponent in the Champions League. They have been somewhat of the surprise package so far in the Champions League. And so winning at the Benfica Stadium, I don't remember what it's called, that's major for Inter Milan. I know Rovella and Lukaku both scored, one of them being a penalty. Not sure how well they played, but considering they won at that stadium and now they're having to go to the San Siro, a very difficult stadium to win at, I think it's safe to say that Inter Milan's officially in the UEFA Champions League semifinals. But of course, in football, we know things can change very rapidly. I mean, just look at PSG last year. I mean, just look at every team that faced Real Madrid last year. Chelsea, PSG, Manchester City, Liverpool. So we have to remember that in the Champions League, anything's possible. So massive W for Inter Milan. But Manchester City, Man City, I watch Barcelona. You guys know, as a Barcelona fan, I watch all the Barcelona games. And occasionally I watch other La Liga games, Premier League games. I watch occasionally other teams. But one of the teams that I found most fun to watch this year is Manchester City. As a Barcelona fan, it does feel empty knowing that I don't have a team to root for in the Champions League. But seeing City this year it's been so fun because they're so talented. And it's crazy to me because I genuinely think the City team that is currently right now, the one that Guardiola has, is what PSG wanted from Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, and all the other players that they got. And it seems like City's doing that, but they're doing that so much better. I mean, this game, the simple fact is this was a match for Rodri and Bernardo Silva, especially Bernardo Silva, because that guy, every time he plays, it feels like he has this level of confidence, even though he's super sure, even though he's constantly underestimated. This guy has some magic in him, and not only does he have magic, but he has this attitude of, hey, I'm going to get the ball, we're going to get the win. And this game was the Bernardo Silva game. Even though he was so short, he got a header in, and Manchester City winning 3-0. The scoreline should have been 5-0, 6-0. I know Bayern, there's this big force of nature who dominated against every team they've played so far this year, including PSG. But against City, everything was broken. I don't know what happened today. Maybe it's the new manager, Thomas Tuchel. I doubt it. Maybe it was Upamecano, who had one of the worst games I've seen from a defender in a while. Probably the last time I felt this way about a defender was the Gavardiol game against Argentina in the semifinals of the World Cup. But Upamecano, this game, he's this young, talented French center back. But today he was awful. I mean, he kept giving away the ball, and it led to the second goal. And I think the final nail in the coffin in this game was that second goal scored by Silva. Because in the first half, you had that Rodri amazing screaming. What a way to have your first Champions League goal. That is the most beautiful way to have your first ever goal in this tournament. And Rodri, I can't stop thinking about that goal. But, Bayern in the first half, even then, even though it was 1-0, City was dominating. It just felt like they were the better team. Jack Grealish on the left side, Silva on the right side, De Bruyne and Gundogan dominating that midfield, Rodri dominating that back part of the midfield, and then the defenders feeling like they never really had much to do. I mean, besides that Moisala shot at the beginning, Ruben Diaz, Ake, all Stones, everyone, Akanji, they felt like they never had to do much. And I feel like Ederson for half this game was probably asleep because what more does he need to do during this game? And really Bayern, and I'll give a massive shout out to Jan Sommer, the one player in this Bayern team today that I give much credit. Yes, he conceded 3 goals, but a lot of the shots, this game should have been 6-0, 5-0. I know the scoreline says 3-0, but man, Sommer saved Bayern. And if let's say for some miraculous reason at the Allianz Arena, Bayern makes some spectacular comeback, Sommer is going to need a lot of credit because that guy saved Bayern in this game. Sure, they lost 3-0, but this could have been a far worse scoreline. And, Every player at City did their job, even during the game. I mean, just look at their bench. They had Riyad Mahrez in the bench, man. How do you have a team where you're willing to bench such a talented player? Probably one of the best African players to have ever played the game. you know, and then you have Julian Alvarez. When you think, okay, who can replace De Bruyne? Oh, immediately they get Julian Alvarez, and he gets himself an assist to Erling Haaland, who I do think Haaland is the best striker in the world at this moment, better than Lewandowski, better than Benzema. I've been saying that for a while, and I still think that. I know everyone's going off the recency bias of Benzema winning the Ballon d'Or or Mbappe taking France to the World Cup final, but Erling Haaland, man, there's no more lethal goal scorer than him right now at this very moment. Overall, it was beautiful football from Guardiola, who this team is just so good, but they're not just good. They're fun to watch. Whether it's in the Premier League, whether it's against Bayern Munich, and this was really Man City's first statement. Because against RB Leipzig, that was a game they should have won. Against Dortmund, every other team that they played in the Champions League, these are games that they should win. But against Bayern, that was a statement because this was a Bayern team that everyone had going into the Champions League final and winning the tournament. And while my favorites for this tournament is still Real Madrid, I think City are different this year. They're so different because the issue with City in the last couple of years have been they're amazing in the Prem, they have amazing games in the Champions League, but eventually they face that one team where it feels like Guardiola panics and makes some major changes, and then they mess it up and they don't win the Champions League. It's another year of disappointment. But this year feels different. It feels like against Bayern, freaking Guardiola was confident. He knew his tactics. He knew what players he wanted to play, and they dominate each and every single one of them. Did their job to the best of their abilities, and they got themselves a 3-0 win, an important win. And what makes it even better is that they didn't concede, meaning that right now Bayern has low stakes. And it felt like everything changed once that second goal came in. I know I brought this up earlier, but once that second goal came in, it just felt like Bayern had nothing. They felt like the fear fell into the players, especially Upamecano. De Ligt too. De Ligt wasn't great today. Where was he? He's supposed to be this young center back who's dominating every game, but where was he today? Same thing with a lot of Bayern players today. Muisala, Sadio Mane, although he hasn't been shown up since October. But Serge Gnabry, every player in Bayern, where were they? Because City was just that good. They locked down every player. But most importantly, that attack, every time they went forward, it just felt like they were going to score. And I don't think I've seen a team this good in a while. I think this City team is so perfect because in every position they're so great, and then in the bench they still have great players that they can bring on for some energy. And even then, Phil Foden's injured. Imagine when he comes back. It's crazy how great this team is. And so overall, City, they're definitely going to be the ones I'm looking out for most. I hope they do go to the final. I won't lie to you because I would like to see a story of a team that's never won the Champions League finally win it, see what it cements to Guardiola's legacy. And they've just been so fun to watch, man. I honestly, I think if you're a football fan, I know everyone's talking about City as this oil team. I mean, everyone's been saying that for decades now, but just watch them and have fun. Because I do think that the owners at PSG need to watch what Man City's doing. Because Man City didn't just splash the cash on Messi, Neymar, Ronaldo, or whatever. No, they built a team. They have a lot of long-term players like De Bruyne in the team, Rodri, they Ederson, a lot of long-term players. They trusted them with the manager they trust. And look where they are right now, heading to the semifinals. I mean, we still have to wait because Bayern at the Allianz Arena is different, okay? But still, man, if you're able to dominate Bayern, especially this Bayern team, this current one, especially under Thomas Tuchel, that says a lot. That says a lot. And while I still think Real Madrid is going to win it, City is deaf. It's really interesting that they're also in the same area. But anyways, that's going to be it. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. Do you agree, disagree? Are you excited for the win? If you're a Bayern fan, let me know how you feel. City fans too. Same thing with Inter and Benfica fans. I apologize, but I can only watch one game at a time. Tomorrow I will be covering Chelsea versus Real Madrid. I'll also give my thoughts on AC Milan versus Napoli. But just to let everyone know in advance, I'm probably going to be watching the Chelsea-Madrid match more. That's the priority. But anyways, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys want me to cover more Champions League, let me know in the comments, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Ciao.